This is the SketchUp model of my jig. You can add it from a few different views. Gotta love SketchUp. If I select the movable jaws and hit M for move, I'm going to try to slide it along the green axis. And this piece slides down around that slot like so. Hit Control Z to undo that. This is the rail, and this is the guide, a piece of 1/4 inch MDF, and I'm going to try to move that along the red axis to show you the idea behind that. To hide the rest of the model, and let's look a little closer at the rail. The first cuts on the table saw, I needed this face and the opposing face to be as straight as I could get them, so I hedged my bets by mounting the stock on a sled to do the first cut, so that it was riding absolutely straight and true to the fence. And the second cut, I put a level against my fence to make the very straight fence much longer, so that the first side that I cut would ride along it. These two faces would be as straight and as parallel as I could get them with my equipment in my shop. The slots were done with a router, and we milled this rabbet in the bottom with the table saw. This is a piece of maple. I set this up using my table saw as a giant square. Then I marked the holes, drilled them, countersunk them, and glued it and screwed it to the rail of the jig. This assembly, the movable jaw, is made out of maple. View doing component edit again. This piece has got some slots and grooves cut into it, as you can see. The bigger area here is to hold the head of the lever, which is this piece here. This was also made out of maple. It was milled down to about a 1/4 inch thick. I laid it out with calipers and a ruler, cut it with a scroll saw, and sanded it to its final dimensions. So this would rotate like this. And when that rotates, this cam pushes against this piece, meaning that this piece would pivot in and out like so to provide the clamping pressure. This post here is actually a toilet flange bolt. It's a 1/4 inch thread, and this is just a dowel. These two pins keep the jaws aligned as it slides in and out. In the actual piece that I built, I replaced this with a tongue, but I think if I were going to build another one, I would just go with the post like I show here. And again, if you look at this on the underside, you can see that the head of the bolt is just put in a shallow mortise. Here are the pieces of the movable jaw. This is the body. It's got a deep mortise in the front half here and a shallow mortise that goes all the way through. This area holds the cam lever. That's why the mortise is deeper on this end, so that slides all the way in. This hole was a mistake. This version I have a tongue that rides in the slot of the jig. In other versions, I think I'm just going to put a pin to go against the bolt that goes in this hole. This is a toilet flange bolt sitting in a mortise like so. To assemble it, you slide the cam in, and this pin is just a piece of a framing nail. You line up the holes, push it in. There's the cam mechanism. The shoe is just a piece of maple, some mortises in it, some strips of weather stripping, EDPM foam rubber. That just screws onto the body with number 8 times 1/2 inch screws, a turn or so. And that's all there is to it. And that just threads on like so. And you can see the cam mechanism. That's it.